Want to see how I got this look? Stay tuned to the end of the video.
I use a dome cap instead of a stocking cap because it's a thicker barrier between the glue and my hair. I would normally use the 8-inch, but unfortunately they only had a 10-inch. Go ahead and open your pack and clip it in half to make it easier for styling. Now let's begin to lay our tracks. We're going to go from one end of our nape to the next. Once you're comfortable with your measurements, you want to go ahead and cut it and then press down on the weft with a flat iron. That's going to allow our glue to stick easier, and it also straightens out the track. You want to take your time doing this part to ensure that you don't use too much glue. A little goes a long way. Now you want to press the track onto your cap and blow dry. Now we're going to measure from ear tip to ear tip. At this point, the steps become pretty repetitive. Again, you want to heat your weft, add your glue, blow dry to heat the glue, and then place the track onto your cap. Here's a closer look at me adding the glue to my track and then heating it with my blow dryer to make sure that I set it in order to lay it on the cap. We're going to measure our third track from temple to temple. Again, the steps are pretty repetitive, so you're going to follow the same steps you did for the first and second track, and then we're just going to continue to measure out the tracks and lay them from this point on. Okay, really quickly, I stopped going from one side of my head to the next. Now I'm just going to my crown area, from one side of my crown to the next side. Now let's work on the front. We're just going to go from the front to our crowns, and we're going to keep going up. And remember, what you do to one side, you want to do to the next. Now it's time to start creating a circular shape above our crowns. We're doing this because this is close to where our closure is going to lay, and we just want it to be that perfect circular shape. And now finally we're going to begin to start laying the tracks that are going to create our bang. Here's where you'll begin to see a circle. If we continue to fill this circle, eventually it'll be small enough to create a closure. At this point, it's easier to place the tracks off of my head. I'm simply just filling in the circle. So I'm basically placing the tracks around that circle that you just saw. If it's easier for you, you can just continue to wrap the hair around and around and around without cutting it. But I just find it easiest for myself to just keep cutting smaller circles. Let's just roll, roll, roll as tight as possible. That's the best way I can explain it. You're gonna end up with what looks like sort of a cinnamon roll. Now you're just gonna add your heat and continue to press. Now just flip it over. And you're going to end up with what looks sort of like a waterfall. We're going to just press down with our flat iron to get this part as flat as possible. This part can be a little tricky, so take your time. Just press, press. And now you can just remove any excess glue. And here's what our closure is looking like. Do not worry about if your ends are sticking out like so, because once we place it on our wig cap, you will no longer be able to see the end that was sticking out. Go ahead and play with your placement so you can figure out where exactly it is you want your closure to sit. I'm not an expert, I'm just kind of going by what I've seen. Simply place the band by my nape and then I began to cut upward. This will give me the bob-like effect I'm going for. I went ahead and cut my bang on my actual head, and then I placed it back on the mannequin head to perfect it. Now it's time to work on the front. I'm simply just going to cut downward at an angle. That's basically the best way I could describe it. Here she is after a fresh bump. Let me know what you guys think about this look in the comments down below.